Okay, here we go. So, yeah, I thought I told you because I've told so many people about it. Simply because it's not like oh, hello there. Yeah, I had a gambling problem. Um, I'll tell you a bit more about it. Like the conversation never started like that with me and people. But sometimes, it would stray along those lines, and then I'd just be like, yeah, I've been doing this, so I've done that, so money's a bit tight, or something like that. Um, anyways, so back in 2012. So like 5 years ago now. Uh, well, even before then, my dad was quite a heavy gambler. Um, to the point where I remember being in I think year 8, 9, 10, or 11, one of them, and we was in like serious trouble. Um, that we was gonna lose the house because of like he was losing his money basically. So we had to be bailed out by my grandparents, the ones in Jamaica, and from then, I think my dad just like cut it down ridiculously. He still to this day still does gamble. Like I come home and I see him on his laptop or his tablet doing his little slots and that. But from what I can see, it's not like horrendously aggressive forms of staking. But you never know. Like it's so accessible these days. Um, he could be doing a lot worse. I don't know, but from there are loads of signs when someone's a heavy gambler, and it does usually show, especially if they got their own family and that. Anyways, so I came home one day and I saw him one day on a website called Blue Square Premier, um, and I don't know. I just thought to myself, yeah, let me just try it. That was the first mistake. Let me just try it. You know what I mean? So was on my laptop, went on the website. I didn't know, I didn't understand sport betting at all. I didn't get it. Um, didn't understand the fractions, the decimals, the odds, all that terms, um, everything. I didn't understand it. So naturally, just went in the casino and went on to roulette wheel because everyone knows how to do roulette for crying out loud. You just spin a ball on a wheel and then um, hope for the best. Literally, just hope for the best. So I couldn't tell you if I won or lost the first time. Most likely, I can't remember. I really can't remember. Um, but after a while, I said to myself, "Hold on. I don't know if you know, but I love my tennis. I think you do know that. So, and I knew quite a bit about it. So I said, let me, I see these two players are facing each other. Um, I took time to learn how odds work and that, and I thought, hold on. Um, if this guy wins, I'll win this much money. And I said to myself, I know he's gonna win. That's another mistake. Sport is so unpredictable. It's not a guarantee that someone's gonna win just because they're the favorite. Um, so I remember the earliest bit I can remember is putting on, I think, £150 on a player called Novak Djokovic um, to beat Roger Federer, and I would have won back, I think, £80, something around that mark. So it was around 1/2, and then Djokovic lost to Federer, and I thought, what the hell? Like at the time, I wasn't too fast because I had quite a lot of money. Well, not loads, but I had enough to say, well, it doesn't really matter that I've lost 150, which is another bad sign, obviously. So that was the semi-finals. So in the finals of the tournament, it was Roger Federer versus Andy Murray. And I remember just sitting with someone who used to work there called Jackie, and I said to her, we were sitting there watching Murray, and I was like, naturally, I would have been like, yeah, come on, Murray, come on, Murray. But I wanted Murray to lose because I put £300, yes, £300 on Roger Federer to win, and his odds were 1/2, so I would have won by 150. So basically, I was chasing my bets. Sorry, chasing my losses. Um, and Federer did win, and I walked home happy, smiling, blah blah blah, whatever. Got home, had £450 in my account balance, withdrew that, and from then, literally, I've just like from there till now, it's kind of been on and off, on and off. Like recently, um, maybe like once a month, I'll gamble because um, obviously the addiction still does linger. Um, but it's, you know, there was times where I remember one year I had about £1,000 in my account, my bank account, and I used to just put like excessive amount of money on odds that were like 1/5. So obviously stuff that was very likely to happen, just like win £100. And because I said to myself, oh, I don't mind if I lose, I don't mind. Um, there was one time around Christmas, around November, early December, and I remember because the PS4 and the Xbox One were just about to be released, and basically I must have had like £2,000 in my bank account, yeah, and I started betting on a tennis match, and it just kept going wrong, like it kept losing, so I doubled, lost, doubled, lost. By the time I realised, I literally had like no money in my account. Just remember ringing Byron and just being like, brother, I wasn't like, I was obviously upset, um, angry, upset. Just like, I can't believe I've bloody done this. I just can't believe it. I had this amount. I was gonna buy a PS4 and an Xbox One on release, and now look at me. I've got nothing. And a lot of the time, I used to think to myself, well, especially around Christmas time, I'd say, oh yeah, I'm doing all these extra shifts. You know, I'll have all that money back soon. But at the same time, you've got like bills to pay. Um, you know, if you do go out wherever, you know, and you pay money, and if you buy food, and like if you're walking home, you want to buy something small to eat. There's so many little things that come out of your account over the months, um, that it literally have to be me spending literally nothing, and maybe over the space of 2 3 months to save that money. That's kind of the same way I'm thinking of now. So yeah, that's the biggest loss I ever had in a small amount of time, about £2,000. I've had a couple other times where I've lost like 1,000. Last year, 2016, was one of my worst years as well because the year started, and I remember because um, I had like once again I had about £1,000 in my account, and my nan was visiting as well. My uncle had just passed away. Like this wasn't related anyway. Like these weren't related because I've always been gambling anyway. But um, remember I think I wanted to buy like a really high end laptop, and I said, oh, I'm so close. I'll just stake a tiny bit more. So obviously I tried to stake a bit, and I lost. I lost again, lost again, lost again. I had nothing. And my nan told my nan about it because I had my Virgin Media bill to pay, my phone bill to pay, um, other things to pay as well. And she gave me £100. I told her everything as well. Me and my nan, straight with my nan, just told her everything. She's like, here's the money, don't bloody use it, you know. Like make sure you save it, and make sure you save £100 every month, which didn't happen. Um, I did actually keep the £100. I didn't use it to gamble because I literally needed that money to get through to the next month. Um, but because I'd borrowed so much from literally every single payday loan company you could think of, um, Sunny, Wonga. Wonga's the first ever one I used to borrow from, but Wonga, Sunny, um, Money Shop, oh my God, Satsuma, MyJar. There were so many. It got to a point last year where they weren't letting me borrow anymore. That's how bad it was. Um, the most I ever owed, in all honesty, was about like £800. So I could, you know, with the plans I set up, I could afford to pay it back every month. But every month I was literally having to give my mum her money and give these people their money, and I have no money for myself for all these months up until about August. When it got to August, I finally paid off all my debt and that. So this is literally from January to August. It's 8 months. August, my birthday month as well. So I had money to myself finally, and I told Brian, I was like, yeah, I'm finally out the red. It's all good. and I wanted a new laptop anyway. Funny enough, the one I'm staring at right now, and it was £600. I had about £400, so I basically just borrowed £300 and bought it that day. So in essence, a bit stupid, but I put myself back in the red voluntarily, um, and obviously I had to pay that back over the next couple of months as well. So it wasn't until December now where I had a bit of money left. And obviously this was around the time when I argued with my mum, and she's like, "I want you out. I want you out by next March, whatever." And that's when I said to myself, I got no choice but to save. I need to save all the money. And thankfully, um, got the opportunity from my boss to be promoted to chef. So thought a bit extra money, qualifications, can use that, blah blah blah. Um, so basically from December, I literally started cancelling loads of my subscriptions, everything that I'm subscribed to. I want to cancel my internet soon as well. Cancelled my contracts for my phone. Cancelled my insurance. Got both my phones fixed as well, which is great. Literally just cut back on everything possible. Even though it's only £10, £20, whatever. That will add up over time. Um, I've got paid. I got paid last month about £1,200. Saved most I could. I can't remember how much I had from the previous month, but I did actually gamble £300 last month, and I lost that. And then after I lost that, I said, you know what? Don't be a dumbass. Um, you know, don't have a repeat of 2016 for fuck's sake. So I put the rest of the money in a savings account and just try my best to not have to spend it at all. Got to the end of the month, got to the end of February, had about £200 left. Got paid again, another £1,200 about 4 or 5 days ago. Gave my mum her money. I've got about £1,000 savings. That money's not really going to be spent at all. There's nothing to spend it on. I've lent out £50 to my mate, one of my close mates, should I say. Byron owes me money as well, but obviously because this situation that's happened with his mum and dad passing away, he's had to use that money for funeral costs and that. And I said to him anyway, you can keep the games console. So yeah. But yeah, that's kind of my story. There's probably more I've forgotten about, but in all honesty, it's just for me, it has been on and off, like for the past 5 years. Like I have educated myself about gambling, the risks of it. I've watched loads of documentaries, seen people's stories of how they've lost everything, lost their wives, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds of debt. Thankfully, I've never been in that situation. People haven't suspected me because I'm just Courtney. Courtney wouldn't do anything like that. He doesn't appear. Sometimes I come in a bit grumpy, but they just think, oh, he's just grumpy, just miserable, whatever. But there was no suspicions in that. Once again, because I don't have girlfriend, wife, any responsibilities. It's not really noticeable even with my own family. They don't notice it. If they say, oh, we're going to cinema or something like that, or we're going out somewhere, we got a poor cup's like £30. Yeah, I have that money. That's not a lot of money, so they wouldn't suspect anything. But even then, sometimes I had to borrow from these companies just to avoid suspicion. I did tell my mum about 3 years ago that I was gambling, and my dad and my brother know. They all know. But it's, right now it's definitely in more control than any time I've been in for the past 5 years. The amount of sites I've signed up to and the amount of sites I've actually blocked myself from, if that means self-exclusion for like a year, or permanently, or changing my password. And when I say changing my password, I literally mean closing my eyes and typing whatever keys I can, and then copying it and putting it in confirm password. So I have no clue what the password is. I've done it, I've been signed up to Skybet, um, PokerStars, Leo Vegas, Stan and James, William Hill, Ladbrokes, Paddy Power, um, trying to think, just 188bet, Titan Bet, um, oh God, Gentleman's Gross. I can't remember the name of that one, but it's just been so many, so many I've been signed up to, and so many I've basically blocked myself from. Better 365. That's one of the ones I used to use at the start. Obviously, Blue Scope Premier, the first one I used. Um, so many, so many. It's shocking. It is actually shocking. But as you said, it's like the house will always win because, in essence, they have unlimited funds. Well, they don't have unlimited, but compared to a person sitting at their computer or going to the store and playing, they have unlimited funds. So yeah, I shouldn't really have to tell you because you said you were a bookie, so you know. But if I go in there with £1,000, I could go there every day for 10 days and make £100. So I make another £1,000 over 10 days. I got £2,000, but the next day I just take 100, I lose. I want to make that back, 200, lose that. Oh crap, another 200, lose that. That's 500 down already. That could have been gone in like less than a minute. I'll do a £500, make that all back in one go. Lose that, £1,000. So I've lost what I've gained in the 10 days. I think to myself, I don't want to go home now because I've lost £1,000. I want to make back what I profited with for the 10 days. So I go into my original balance, use that £100 gone. Again, I know another 100 gone, 200. Try and make that back to say, oh, let me just try to get back to 1,000. My starting block. Lose that. You've got £600 left. Think for crying out loud. Panic. 100, £500 left. You might win a few. Back 600, 700, 800, 900. Should I stop? No, let me try to get back to 1,000. Lose. That's happened to me so many times. Roulette for sport betting. Sometimes you're just so unlucky with sport betting sometimes. Roulette as well. Remember I've done roulette and I literally I always put it on black. And then for whatever reason, it just kept landing on red, like 5, 6 times in a row. And I was taking big amounts each time. I just lost it all. And sometimes I just sit here and I think, what the hell? And then I look around, honestly, I think to myself, what can I sell just to have a little bit of money to get through the month? And I think that's, I don't particularly want to sell anything. Like I said, I did sell my Xbox One last December. Was going to sell it on eBay, but I decided to just give it to Byron and his kids. And thankfully they actually used the console, so I thought, well, that's alright, 'cause I never used it. But yeah, that's my experience with gambling anyway. I know it's a stupid thing to do. And I could tell anyone that, anyone that says, oh, I feel like gambling, I tell them, no, don't be silly. And if you do it in moderation, man. Like if you do an accumulator every weekend for the football, that's alright. Like you put £1, even like maybe just £10 on 5 different results. That's alright. But when you might start putting 20s, 50s, 100s, 200s, you need to start reassessing everything. I think, is this what you really want to do? Another problem I also had was the fact that I felt so confident in the gambling that if I spent any money, like even if it was £10 on food, I'd go home and I want to make back that £10 I just spent. So I say I'll just do a quick, like a £10 on roulette, or put £20 on a sporting bet, and make that back. But even then, sometimes that's how I lost, big, because it's like a spiral effect. But yeah, it's a bit mad though. The way it started, it's just addiction, innit? It's addiction like anything. Sometimes people who are in the addiction, they know it's bad for them, but they just do it because they're addicted. Obviously, you can be addicted to anything in life. Some things are just stronger than others, and obviously, for me, like anyone, the more you do it, the more desensitized you get to it. You know, the whole dopamine effect isn't as good as it was, so you have to put more on to get that same feeling. And for me, like I said, even got to the point where I win £100. Even now, I can win £100, and yeah, I'd be happy, but I might be happy for like a second, 2 seconds, and then the feeling's just gone. £200, and anything above that is just like I think, say to myself, why I'm not gonna, no, I'm not staking that amount because that's just stupid. So it's kind of like I'm a bit frightened now to even stake, if I'm being honest. Also, the fact that I'm really just trying to save up money is it's just a no-no now. It's literally just a no-no. I had that little blip in January, like I said, I lost the £300, but said nah, not again. So yeah, that's my story. I thought I told you. I honestly thought I told you.